Hey, what's up, guys? Up here. So it appears that Hasan Piker has entered the Thunderdome and given his thoughts on the Ethan Klein lawsuits. And once again, he delivers because his commentary is filled with meme-worthy, instantly debunkable claims that prove he didn't engage with this video whatsoever before forming his very strong opinions about it. Now, before we get into what he said about Ethan Klein's video, and it's very hilarious, let's just give some context in case you don't know, and I'll do it in a very quick fashion. So recently, Ethan Klein comes out with this video announcing that he's suing 3 content creators for copyright infringement. Basically, he shared that his recent Hasan Piker content nuke was also designed in a way that would be a trap for some content creators where he could sue them for copyright infringement. Because some of these creators, as you can see listed here, would keep the video playing while they left the room, barely reacted, and on top of that, all 3 of these people he's suing made their intent very clear with their streams, that they wanted to act as a market replacement for Ethan Klein's content nuke and wanted people to watch their streams in order to watch his video. A very clear example of copyright infringement to many different people. And as you can see, the 3 people hit with these lawsuits include some infamous Hasan orbiters like Denims, Frogan, and Kaceytron. Now, since then, as you can see from this meme posted on the H3H3 Productions subreddit, a lot of people are looking at Hasan Piker, a guy who probably makes 8 figures a year. He's sitting there watching all of this from the sidelines as his biggest orbiters, his strongest soldiers, are going through it. They're all begging for money with their GoFundMes, and he hasn't contributed as of yet, other than just spreading the message. And boy, they need a lot more than spreading of the message from him right now because they're struggling. So another day watching the GoFundMe race here. It's very exciting. People are tracking this every single day. Right now, Denims is in the lead with $28,000 raised. That's 28% of their $100,000 goal. She is in the lead currently. In second place, we have Frogan, who raised a similar amount at $26,000, but unfortunately for this 2-time rising Twitch star, she's only at 13% because apparently she's twice as important as the other people facing these lawsuits because her goal is $200,000. A big slip up for her. And then in last place, Kaceytron. I don't think this surprises anyone. She's at $8,800 raised, about 9% of her goal at $100,000. I'm honestly shocked. There's sentient human beings out there that gave not just Kaceytron, but any of these people money for this lawsuit because ultimately, whether they fail to produce money for this lawsuit and it affects their ability to defend their case, or they fund it and then Ethan Klein can use that money in his settlement, it's a lose-lose situation. But anyways, Hasan has done a lot to help out his favorite orbiters by calling Ethan Klein old. Yes, because he can't debunk any of his claims. He can't refute what's going on here in Ethan's assertions. So instead, he does the classic Hasan Piker method, and that is to insult people. And also, this one is really interesting. Calling someone who is 6 years older than you old. Both Hasan and Ethan are in their 30s. This is a very strange, how do you do, fellow kids type moment here. But there's, of course, the biggest contribution. And that is this video uploaded onto his Hasanabi YouTube channel titled, Ethan, This is Embarrassing. Now, of course, Hasan, this is embarrassing. Look at the reaction to this video. 16,000 likes versus 17,000 dislikes. Understand, on Ethan's video announcing the lawsuits, he has roughly a 95% like to dislike ratio. Understanding, of course, he has a legion of haters, and also it's a very controversial video. Yet he has a 95% like dislike ratio, and Hasan can't even get a 50% like to dislike ratio. That's how bad things are at this point. And one of the main reasons people are dunking on this video is because clearly he didn't watch. Not only is he biased in his defense of the 3 stooges involved with these lawsuits, but also he clearly didn't engage with this video before talking about it and having such strong opinions. Let's start here.
Apparently there's a second content nuke that is, I guess, the hit the timelines, and I make some interesting, I'm in the content nuke apparently, but it's not a content nuke alone. It's also a lawsuit. It turns out Ethan's initial content nuke, by his own estimation, by his own statements, was actually a trick, was a trap. He wanted to basically sue everyone that watches the content nuke. And he's, Mr. Copyright Infringement is trying to litigate the resentment that people feel towards him once again, which I think is very weird.
Leave it to the guy who infamously created the armchair reaction meme to sit here and talk about Mr. Copyright Infringement and act like Ethan Klein is someone who is completely switched up and is now trying to attack people over copyright. And he's this evil guy trying to strike down anyone who criticizes him in his YouTube videos. But of course, he doesn't understand what's happening. And there's an assertion that Ethan Klein is inconsistent on his opinion about fair use, which is instantly debunkable thanks to this clip shared by Ethan himself on Instagram. There's this idea because Ethan was involved with a fair use court case a couple years ago where he won. There was a big debate about what is actually fair use. Like, what point does it become transformative? But his comments from years ago reflecting on the court's decision reflects exactly what he's doing now. Let's listen to this really quick.
Intersperse short segments of another's work with criticism and commentary, while others are more akin to a group viewing session without commentary. Accordingly, the court is not ruling here that all reaction videos constitute fair use, which I think is a great distinction because us who do it well and who respect fair use, we hate these shitty Jinx styles reaction videos.
And I think everyone on YouTube also can tell the difference. There's the classic old school dumb reaction videos where they just sit there and watch it and don't say anything. They just laugh with the video or whatever. And then there is the other kind where people put in commentary, editing.
And so this is a precedent, a win on both sides. This is super powerful.
Yeah, so this directly aligns with what he's doing right now. He talks about channels like Jinx and all those other people who back in the day were infamous abusers of the copyright system in a way that we typically don't expect. It's people just sitting there and watching videos and not providing any commentary whatsoever, leaving the room, not providing much commentary whatsoever. Does that sound familiar? Well, it's all three of the people facing the current lawsuit. They did not have a reaction whatsoever for large portions of the video, including leaving the room. I mean, what are we talking about here? This lines up perfectly with what was said right here years ago. And on top of that, we have this other element about the malicious intent, which of course Hasan has no idea about whatsoever because he doesn't know what's going on, including more proof of that right here with this clip.
And he is he's launched a lawsuit against Frogan, Denims, and Kaceytron. Now, a lot of people watched his content nuke. I don't know why he only sued those people. I mean, I watched his content nuke as well, but here's the, I don't know, this is so stupid. I don't know what to say about it, but here's the Dick Sardanox thing I saw from it.
Why not sue me? You didn't watch the video, because if you did watch the video like a few minutes in, Ethan explicitly states regarding Hasan Piker, he's not going to file a lawsuit to him over this situation because he actually reacted. He actually reacted better than these people, and most importantly, Ethan invited him to react. Obviously, he's not going to make a copyright infringement lawsuit against someone who he invited to watch the product of that lawsuit. It would make absolutely no sense, and that's something that he shared right here. And funny enough, it seems like from watching Hasan's video, the only contact he had with Ethan's video was this clip uploaded by this account on Twitter, which we talked about the other day, where it has the most ridiculous headline, incredibly dishonest, saying he's only suing these people because they're small female streamers and that this is him suing people over copyright and trying to violate fair use and stuff like that. It's completely ridiculous and transparent. Now, this next part might be my favorite. Totally delusional. This really shows how out of touch these people are.
I don't even know if this will work in his favor, but I don't even know if this was like a masterful gambit from the start. Like, I don't even know if this was like a setup, because it doesn't make sense. Because on the one hand, why would you admit that you were doing entrapment? Like, you wanted people to go react to your video. You said you wanted people to go react to your video. You said anyone and everyone can even, make money off of your videos in the past when we had a podcast together, only to then turn around and be like, actually, I got you. You reacted to my video and therefore you're done. He claims you're watching it was fair use, unlike those he's suing. I thought about not responding to this, but it's so silly that he was like, he's openly admitting that he was baiting me into a lawsuit and then it didn't work. He absolutely did not make the nuke with this in mind. He's just acting now. He thinks he's in a way that a villain would act. Yeah, it's kind of sad either way. It's sad to try, and it's sad in so many different ways. The reason why it's sad in so many different ways is because, like, then, okay, the content nuke was actually bullshit. Like, you don't actually think I'm a terrorist. You just slandered your Muslim former podcast co-host a terrorist for what? This trap?
Entrapment. Yes, he's saying that Ethan Klein entrapped these three individuals with his video and his ulterior motive regarding that video. Excellent. And this is reflected in this retweet he made where this other account is essentially saying the same thing about this being a trap and that they're not a legal expert, but it seems like this is something that'll result in a automatic loss, right? Yeah, wrong. These people are completely out of it. They have no idea how entrapment works. Again, quick Google search will tell you that you have to be law enforcement or an agent of the government under the instruction of the government to be considered someone who could be entrapping someone legally. And that's already a very hard standard to prove. And Hasan, by saying Ethan is entrapping these content creators, is basically saying that Ethan is either the government or an agent of the government trying to entrap people into committing a crime that they were not predisposed to in the first place. Everything about that is mind-bogglingly insane. And this guy, he says it with his chest multiple times. Yeah, Ethan Klein, the government agent trying to entrap these poor, innocent, small content creators. Like, give me a break. And he talks about, like, trying to bait Hasan. Like, dude, he wasn't trying to bait you into a lawsuit. He was trying to get you to react to a giant video with millions of views exposing you. That's all there was to it. He didn't even get through the whole video. He spent 9 hours reacting to half of the video, by the way. Insane. On top of that, you heard that little conversation, little comment about being Muslim, because apparently he hasn't played the race card enough, and he's just a professional victim at this point, trying to deflect blame on Ethan Klein for targeting his race or whatever he's trying to get at here. Really pathetic. But this part's even funnier because someone in the chat dared to have a different opinion, some wrong think. We have a free thinker, ladies and gentlemen. Look out!
I agree with the bottom line of this video. When someone reacts to a video without any reaction, shouldn't have it. Maybe I'm insane. No, but that's the reason why he's trying to use this as a form of attack, so that people like you who have this opinion, he knows that he can't litigate this issue on the basis of his support for Israel. Okay. So now he's trying to litigate this issue on the basis of react content, which is more in line with the normal kind of drama that he engages with, and that a lot of onlookers, such as yourself, will go, well, I kind of agree with that. He made this YouTube video. He has every right to sue people for copyright. That's it. The only intelligent part about this is redirecting his animosity to a better playing field.
Yeah, absolutely devastating. People like you, is what he described. You mean free thinkers? People are not going to just run with the narrative of whatever you're saying and just accept it as fact. Yeah, this guy is making some very common sense observations about what's going on here. You just don't like what he's saying. And also, you don't even know how to really even counter it because you didn't watch the video. And also, his comments about this being about Israel. Leave it to this guy to make everything about a serious conflict. Everything that happens has something to do with Israel or Palestine or Iran every single time. And also he says the only intelligent part is the redirection. Dude, it's such copium. It's actually insane. But of course, the next clip we're going to see is where he's talking about the 3 small content creators who are swept up in this redirection.
But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is specifically so that you guys go and show support to Denims, Frogan, and Kaceytron, because obviously he has a ton of money and he's going to use the ton of money that he has to bully other content creators who don't have a ton of money and try to win some kind of public opinion battle. That is partially the reason why he went after Frogan, Denims, and Kaceytron. These are people who get insane lines of attack, and most people don't choose to defend them. I don't think he actually wanted the smoke, which is precisely the reason why he didn't like try to do this for me or any other content creators who reacted to his context puke, which by the way was his wishes. That was his desire. His desire from the start was for everyone and anyone.
I actually love this part because it shows how out of touch he is and how much they're really focused in on this echo chamber of existence that all these related parties have. Wow, I can't believe that no one is defending Frogan, Denims, and Kaceytron. I can't believe that people criticize them. That's insane. Well, I guess that's what happens when, number one, you align with people like Hasan Piker. That's already damaging the possibility of people defending them right from the get-go. But also, they're the kind of people, say, veteran or military people, they deserve PTSD, or that they deny October 7th rapes, or, you know, they have other things like making race-based tier lists, or saying, or trying to justify fake CPS calls on Ethan's family because his children 3 and 5 haven't formed memories yet, so it doesn't really matter. And I could go on and on and on. That's why people don't want to defend them. That's why they're so hesitant to defend them, because they're just not likable. And I love this idea that he's like this champion of women, which, given a lot of his past comments, is already laughable. But this clip has recently resurfaced where women in Iran are being arrested for dancing. And Hasan says, pics or it didn't happen, bro.
Iranian women can't post TikTok dances? What? That's a joke, right? You're saying that as a joke, right? Because, one, I don't think that's a metric for women's liberty. And two, they abso-fucking-lutely can. What are you talking about?
So yeah, I wanted you to listen to his very beautiful laugh at the end there. But basically he's saying that being able to dance or not legally, you know, being able to dance without being arrested is not a measure of your rights as a woman. I think it is, very much so. I know, call me the really crazy person here, the very non-progressive, but I think women should be able to dance in public without being arrested. I know, I think that is a measure of your liberty as a woman. What do I know? Hasan speaks for all women. But of course, he claims that this is absolutely not effing happening. Well, again, another instantly debunkable thing if you just look at Google for 5 seconds, and there's dozens of articles talking about women who have been arrested for dancing in Iran, very recently as well. And there are serious sentences, like decades, for doing this. Islamic laws in Iran forbid it entirely, even in the home, which is something they overlook, I guess. But this is an outrageous claim, just like instantly debunkable. These are why it's so crazy to see tens of thousands of people listen to this guy and just be like, yup, that's the truth. When it's, again, a 5-second Google search proves the opposite. But let's listen to one more clip from this video.
It's so funny in this video. He says XQC and Asman he wants to be cool with, and yet XQC had him have that whole debate where he did the worm. Yeah, I mean, Ethan Klein is very similar to Donald Trump in many ways. Donald Trump will let bygones be bygones as long as you offer fealty, or as long as he can use you. Ethan sees Asmongold and XQC as allies. Ethan sees a bunch of neo-Nazis as reliable allies because they all despise me. And that's precisely the reason why he's perfectly fine with aligning with them and working with them, because he operates on the enemy of my enemy is my friend attitude. That's it. Pathetic, immoral, desperate man. A 40-year-old still doing like this.
Oh, here we go again. Nothing can happen in life for Hasan without thinking about Asmongold. Yes, he is unironically claiming, number one, that Ethan is a lot like Donald Trump, really exercising his Trump derangement syndrome here. But on top of that, he's saying Asman and XQC are neo-Nazis. What an outrageous thing to say. Does he really believe this in his heart of hearts? Well, I know a lot of his fans do, but it shows the desperation here, trying to slander and name call and do things like that when you can't actually counter anything going on with Ethan's video. And that's obvious because he didn't watch. There's no way he can debunk anything. He's literally shadowboxing points that are either irrelevant, never happened, or are misconstruing what Ethan actually said. And that's what happens again when you don't watch the content you're forming such strong opinions about. But it doesn't matter to his audience, so why would he, right? He looks dumb to people on the outside, but to his audience, they're just going to nod their head and agree with everything he says anyways. And if they do disagree or have a different opinion, he's going to show their chat in front of tens of thousands of people and publicly shame them like a misbehaving child in school. It's ridiculous. But anyways, that was the video that he uploaded, and that's my reaction to it, and that's going to do it for this video. So as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.